As is always the case with the mainstream media, when you read those fear-mongering headlines, you would think, oh my goodness, measles is a really big problem in the United States. But the reality is that it's not. And RFK Jr. just flipped the narrative on its head. So Cuomo asked RFK Jr., you weren't saying that, meaning get vaccinated during COVID. That's why people aren't getting vaccinated, and now it's a problem. How do you deal with that issue, and what responsibility do you have in terms of how people feel about getting vaccinated? Here's RFK Jr.'s response.
We're doing better in managing our measles epidemic in this country than probably any other country in the world that has outbreaks right now. We have about 842 cases, Chris. In Canada, they have about the same number. They have 1/8 of our population. Europe has 10 times that number. Our numbers have plateaued. So you're still seeing added measles cases, but the rate of growth has gone down. Now, there are populations in our country, like the Mennonites in Texas, who are most afflicted. And they have religious objections to the vaccination because the MMR vaccine contains a lot of aborted fetus debris and DNA particles. So they don't want to take it. So we ought to be able to take care of those populations when they get sick. And that's one of the things that CDC has not done. CDC has said the only thing that we have is vaccination. There's all kinds of treatments when people do get sick, and those people should be treated with compassion. I'll say, and we ought to have good treatments for them, and that's what we're developing at CDC right now, protocols are treating measles.
It is so refreshing to hear the public's concerns about aborted fetal cells and DNA being inside these injections. When have we ever had the acknowledgement of genuine objections and true religious convictions addressed by a government official of this level? Literally, the secretary of the HHS, which influences the entire Western world. This is huge progress. Kennedy then delivered a devastating jab at the dominant measles narrative, putting everything into perspective and leaving the panel silent. Take a listen.
I want to say this. We've had 4 measles deaths in this country in 20 years. We have 100,000 autism cases a year. We have 38% of our kids now are diabetic or pre-diabetic. That should be in the headlines. When I was a kid, the average pediatrician saw 1 case of diabetes in a 40 or 50-year career. Today, 1 out of every 3 kids who walks through his office door is diabetic or pre-diabetic. That should be getting the headlines. When I was a kid, 2 million, there were 2 million measles cases a year, and none of them got headlines. And we had 400 deaths. We had deaths about between 1 and 1,200, 1 in 10,000. We have so many kids now who are afflicted by chronic disease, and the media never covers them. They only want to cover measles. And what I've been saying to people is, let's pay attention to other illnesses as well. And the illnesses that are really, really damaging our country, that are existential for our country. We now spend almost $1 trillion a year on diabetes and metabolic disorder. By 2035, we're going to be spending $1 million a year on autism. Autism in 1970 was 1 in 10,000 Americans. Today, it's 1 in 31. In California, it's 1 in every 20 kids, 1 in every 12.5 boys. This is what the media ought to be focusing on, and it's not. And because of that, we don't have the solutions and we don't have the cures.
During that 90-second stretch, the NewsNation panel sat there stunned in silence. No pushback, no rebuttal. That's because they knew Kennedy was dropping undeniable truths. So basically, we have 2 huge topics being tackled by RFK Jr. this week, and they both involve protecting children as he promised he would. One issue involves human trafficking, and the other potential lifelong harm and disability from dangerous injections. This is exactly what we've been waiting for from RFK Jr. This is what people voted for. Many, including yours truly, have known and have been speaking about this for years, as has RFK Jr. himself. But he and the rest of us have faced criticism and name-calling such as conspiracy theorist and anti-vaxxer for long enough. RFK Jr. is bringing these once taboo conversations into the mainstream. These issues can no longer be ignored. It's time to have real conversations and real action. The criticism of RFK Jr. starting off with things like food dyes and additives being his main focus is now seemingly coming to fruition with real topics like vaccines. Hopefully soon we will see the other madness addressed, such as newborns being injected for herpes. RFK Jr. is facing a colossal task, and he seems to be, piece by piece, bringing it to light. The proof is in the pudding. We need to keep pushing these issues to the forefront and demand action. And it seems RFK Jr. is listening. We want to remind everyone about the Energetic Health Institute's courses designed to help you take charge of your health. Learn at your own pace with expert-guided content that covers holistic practices and self-care techniques, giving you the tools to lead a healthier, more balanced life. Visit myehialoha.org/#VFox, click Join Our Life Healing Community, and register for their next Virtual Solutions Summit happening on May 24th, 2025. You can also access a range of powerful online courses, including vaccine education for mama bears, cleansing and the causes of cancer, the art of grounding, get educated on geoengineering, the Internet of Things, and healing in the age of bioweapons, and so much more. All of these invaluable resources are a whopping 30% off when you use code VFOX. Again, that link is myehialoha.org/#VFox with promo code VFox for 30% off.